I ruled the world, oh, what a world it'd do. If I ruled the world, yeah. What a song that's it.
Hello. Yeah. This street, what's it called?
Sandino.
Yeah. Why is it called Sandino Street?
I haven't got a clue.
Hello.
Hello.
Could you tell us why this street's called Corinto Street?
Yes, well, I asked a local councillor when they were round, and they said it's from a South American place called Nicaragua, and Sandino was a leader there, so they've named after, Mr. Sandino, and Corinto after the town.
How far away do you think Nicaragua is?
Oh, quite away. But I've never been, near that part myself. I'd like to go there myself, but I don't know how far it is.
How do you feel about Liverpool being twin with Corinto in Nicaragua?
I think it's a good thing. I believe it's a port. I am a docker myself, and I never loaded for there, so we mustn't do much trade with them. Loaded for most parts of the world, but this is a port. Liverpool's a port. I think it's a good thing.
Do you know much about what's happening in Nicaragua at the moment?
No, not really.
I did news this morning that Reagan had lost another bid for money after sending us out of Congress, was it? I was glad to hear it.
I know that this guerrillas or terrorists or whatever they call, trying to go against the country, and you should live, let them live their own way, people should leave anybody else alone.
Father Stoker, our priest, he mentions current affairs in the world, and he's often spoken about Nicaragua, the injustices that's going on there. So the war against America, or the war of independence.
Since these interviews were taken, Carlos Davila, the mayor of Corinto, has visited Liverpool. During his visit, he had the opportunity to meet face-to-face with some of the residents of Corinto and Sandino streets.
The visit by Carlos Davila was a return visit to one made by a 4-person delegation from Liverpool to Corinto in the summer of 1985. For us on the delegation, Corinto, from being just a name on a map, became a living community.
While we were there, it became obvious that Corinto, the country's main port, is in the front line in President Reagan's dirty war against Nicaragua.
In September, 6 of our boats were damaged by mines. One man was killed and another can't work again. In this first attack, they succeeded in burning the oil storage tanks, but the second time, they were fought off by the Navy and local people.
Although Corinto is quite a prosperous town by Nicaraguan standards, it's still got hardly any paved streets and proper sewerage. Despite the war, though, they are making great progress, and one of the recent achievements has been clean, fresh water for every household.
The marketplace scene shows the wide variety of food available now to the people of Corinto. In the past, land was mostly used for the production of cash crops for export, but now more and more land is being turned over to the production of food for local consumption. Fish, too, provides an important part of the Corinto diet.
Corinto depends on 2 main industries, fishing and the docks. These are really the only ways of earning a living.
Usually one boat and outboard motor will be shared between 3 or 4 families who work together and then at the end of the day split the proceeds.
If the fishing doesn't go too well, then we're in trouble. When there's not much work in the docks and the warehouses, the boys come down here to fish.
The state-owned Alinsa seafood processing factory employs hundreds of workers, mainly women.
When we arrived for work on the 11th of July 1979, we found the manager had fled with all his belongings and gone to El Salvador. We immediately decided to occupy the factory.
Before the workers of Alinsa seized their own workplace, and before the general victory over the Somoza dictatorship, working conditions in Nicaragua were barbaric. Since then, conditions have improved massively, and Alinsa workers have full rights to sick pay, maternity leave, and trades union organisation.
They're now involved in the running of the plant through elected delegates onto a factory committee. This committee organises all aspects of working conditions and productivity.
El movimiento sindical de Nicaragua ha tenido...
Since 1979, the Nicaraguan labour movement's made some very important gains, including the right to organise trade unions. In fact, 98% of workers are in unions now. A whole range of demands over wages and conditions have been progressed. At the time of Somoza, this would have been impossible. Somoza didn't permit unions or political freedom and resorted to repression, persecution and murder. Today, despite the war, we've managed to make political gains.
These newly won political freedoms are under direct attack from raconteurs, many of whom are ex-Somoza National Guardsmen.
Nicaragua has got an elected government. A lot of the gains that they're making in the health care field are being currently undermined by the Contras who are backed by Reagan, in terms of specific targets like health centres and health workers are actually specific targets because the Contra know that that is a good way of undermining stability, you know, to bomb a health centre.
Sí, la agresión, digamos...
Yes, the USA-backed aggression has resulted in homelessness and murder of peasants in the countryside. Up to now, there's been 38,000 casualties.
A doctor who'd been and worked in Nicaragua for several years in the war zones talked very movingly about the kind of things that they are trying to do there and how he had to deal on a day-to-day basis with the effects of the war and wounded, and all the time it being an uphill battle to concentrate on the prevention side when actually people are having their legs shot off and kids are having their legs shot off and their arms shot off and being blown up by Contras.
The Alinsa fishing fleet in particular has been attacked repeatedly. The job of repairing and maintaining the fleet has been made more difficult by a US-imposed trade embargo.
We've needed all kinds of spare parts. If we can't get the parts, we try and make them ourselves. In this factory, we've made some parts which only come from the United States.
The difficulties caused by the war haven't prevented progress. Before the revolution, 1 in 4 children never reached the age of 5 years.
But since, with a public health programme involving health education and full mother and child care, infant and child mortality has been dramatically reduced.
There's something about the Nicaraguan healthcare system, which actually enables them to do it. And personally, I feel this has to do with involving people in healthcare. Their campaigns are very successful because they say, next Sunday, everybody in the country is going to be immunised against polio, and that's one way of doing it, which actually might be a very good example for Britain to follow.
Another advance has been the provision of a full and free education for all, regardless of age or occupation. In the first 3 years of the revolution, illiteracy was reduced from 60 to 12%.
My parents never had the means to send me to college to be a teacher. There were only 2 teacher training colleges in the whole country, and their fees were very expensive. But after the revolution, the demand for education grew enormously at all levels, and so many more schools and teachers were needed. I myself have volunteered for the militia, and I'm waiting to go to the war zone. The defence of this country isn't just a job for men. Many women have also played very important roles.
When the Liverpool delegation visited Corinto, we mounted a photo exhibition of life in Liverpool, showing its history, music and people, and also some of its problems such as unemployment and bad housing.
We also took with us a photographic record of the miners' strike of 1984-1985. These last photos especially moved many people to write messages of support.
For peace, all against the aggression. We note the strength of the workers fighting against the injustices created by the government of your country. From free Nicaragua, we send a revolutionary and fraternal salute to all those peoples fighting for their liberation.
The exhibition is very interesting, and much more beautiful is the strength of the solidarity of the people of Liverpool with Nicaragua. We are convinced that united we are strong. We will win.
To develop the links between the twin cities, many Nicaraguans have visited Liverpool.
He llegado aquí a Liverpool.
I came to Liverpool knowing it's a town that's expressed friendship with the town of Corinto. The twinning of these two cities is an example of the recognition by the people of Liverpool that in Nicaragua we're involved in a struggle against North American imperialism.
Healthcare has been a key focus of the Liverpool-Corinto campaign.
And at the time, somebody in the meeting suggested from the tropical school here in Liverpool has students, nurses, health workers from all over the world, and that it's one of the most influential and interesting tropical schools around, and that there are some very interesting courses at it. And what then happened was a group of people, not all health workers, but just people who were interested in the idea of twinning with Corinto and in the idea of health, not only in Britain but in Nicaragua, got together, and we investigated the idea of someone coming over from Corinto to study at the tropical school. And then at that time, Tim and Sean went over to Corinto and they met a nurse called Nubia. This attracted the attention of lots of people. I mean, the workers in the tropical school, both students and teachers, were very excited and are very excited about the idea and would like to have more people from Latin America and Central America at the school. Quite a number of health unions and other unions got interested and gave us donations, and the university and the poly students were interested. Unfortunately, Nubia in the end wasn't able to come. But although we were sad that Nubia didn't come, last year the two people from the direction in Lyon came to tell us that the hospital in Corinto, the Carlos Tinoco Hospital, is very short of all kinds of medicines and drugs. So the money that we collected for Nubia is going and has currently is being used to buy drugs to send out to this hospital.
Besides the health project, we have sent and continue to send sewing machines and material to the Silvia Ramirez Women's Textile Co-op and educational materials for Corinto schools.
From time to time, containers have been sent over to Nicaragua containing a lot of the staple things that people need to carry on their everyday lives. Things like sewing machines and just practical household utensils and a whole number of things to enable them to be able to keep life and limb together on a day-to-day basis. We're involved in the Direct Links campaign, which has been set up specifically between Liverpool and the port of Corinto, where we've actually been put in touch with other print workers, where the dockers in Liverpool have been put in touch with port workers in Corinto, and in that way we've been able to build solidarity. Because it's very important to grasp the fact that people respond to people, and when we explain what we've been able to achieve in our union branch, then other people who are equally interested get themselves involved in their own particular unions, and anything we can achieve can easily be achieved by anyone else working in the same way with their own members, because we've always found that we get a good response from the members once the issues are clearly explained to them and when they know what it's all about.
A great song. Now, where is it? Cuba. Grenada. Nicaragua.
On the 27th of June 1986, the International Court of Human Justice at The Hague declared the Reagan administration guilty on 8 counts of violating international law. The revelations of the Contragate scandal have also shown that the US administration is willing to break even its own country's laws in order to further its aggressive policies.
Now, if that government in Nicaragua is to fall, or it was attacked by the states, then that would affect democracy all over the world. It wouldn't just affect it in Nicaragua, and not even in Central America and in South America, but here in Liverpool as well. I think it would have an impact.
Nosotros consideramos que la mejor ayuda que los trabajadores.
The best help that workers and trade unionists could give is to immediately mobilize protest at the tactics of political, economic and military aggression Reagan directs against Nicaragua. People can help us by sending telegrams to the United States Congress, asking them to revoke Reagan's powers to act against us. Also, they should call for Mrs. Thatcher to stop her support for Reagan.
Aid has been steadily arriving from Corinto's other European sister cities. Groups in Rotterdam, Bremen, Cologne and Le Havre have publicised the Nicaraguan struggle and sent work brigades and substantial shipments of aid.
Y nosotros podemos decir de que del campo.
In the international field, we've received aid that's helped our people to survive. This help's been given by brother and sister workers from countries like Britain, Spain, France, Finland, Belgium, and principally from the workers of Latin America. We've received industrial safety clothing, tools, spare parts for machines, and food products. They've shown solidarity and eased some of our needs.
Oh, well, I guess I'll just have to get another one. If there's room in the world.
Without the support of people all over the world and the protests that they've raised, it's likely that Nicaragua would have gone under. Lots of things are happening on Merseyside in support of Nicaragua. Street protests, rallies, fundraising, socials, concerts with Nicaraguan bands, and an annual festival to celebrate the Nicaraguan Revolution.
At a British level, activities are coordinated by the Nicaraguan Solidarity Campaign. Its work includes organising national protests against British and US policy, spreading information about Nicaragua, arranging educational tours, and sending coffee harvest and construction brigades.
It's vital that you join in and help make sure that Nicaragua survives. Yo te quiero mucho más. Yo te quiero mucho más. No es el imperialismo. Ay, Nicaragua, Nicaragüita, la flor más linda de mi querer, abonada con la bendita Nicaragüita, sangre de mi ángel. De Támara, pero ahora que ya sos libre, Nicaragüita, yo te quiero mucho más. Pero ahora que ya sos libre, Nicaragüita, yo te quiero.